Unfortunately, yeah, this doesn't look like a huge move, but yeah, this one I'm not so mad about. I had to leave existed break even after taking something partial, so it's fine. Yeah, this one worked better. I also missed CCL. Like CCL and MU, I almost got them there at the bottom because of that fake breakdown there. But I didn't. Because of that, my mood was a little bit ruined, so I just decided to take a nap. And let's see the afternoon. Okay. That's good. Hey, Peter B. Now let's look at the trades, then I'll go through over my trades. First of all, Avi, let's see what you did, Avi. Peter, off topic so that I don't miss it. I think I will not forget because you already texted me in the chat. I do remember it, I have downloaded, but just in case. Okay, so Avi traded Uber. I like this one. We have some sort of level right here, level of consolidation in the pre-market. That's it, let me just draw it. It's somewhere right here, and sometimes remember guys that those level of consolidations, they are not exact levels, they are areas of consolidation. And here you can see that it was ascending. It's actually more clear right here. It did break out, it did sell off. I mean, taking it to the long side would have been a little bit tough for me because of this week right here, which bounced off a daily level. But looking at it, it did break down. It did break this area right here, this trend right there, but it wasn't weak enough to get sold off, right? It immediately got bought back up and went back, making above this pre-market level. So this entry, it was a really good one. This stop loss would have been maximum what I would have given Uber, because at this area, this candle, it would have turned out from green to red. I wouldn't really like seeing that in this type of trades. But other than that, I mean, it was a really good one. It was a good entry, good partials at daily levels, and all the way to the 25 round number. You held it. That's a good job, Abby. Hey, bud. Let's see what you did on AAL. Now, was this a long or a short? It was a long. Now, do you know why this long didn't work out that well? You did get subbed out. I mean, look at this. You have the range here, right? You have the range here, and I would say somewhere here. Not clearly, but somewhere right here or here. That's the range. If we get a stock within the range, we need to put our stop loss at the low of the range. You took it at the high, it couldn't break out, and it went all the way down and got you subbed out without, and then went without you. So yeah, you shouldn't have been subbed out at this trade, but I wouldn't have taken it to the long side here. Why wouldn't I take it to the long side here? Look at the stop loss. This should be my stop loss, right? It's 15 cents stop loss. And it's already did around, I don't know, what is that, 50 cents move, right? I would need it to make 30 cents more, and it did that. But at this area, I wouldn't really expect it to do 15 cents move with no pullbacks. Yes, it did it, but I don't like the risk to reward so much right there. Looking at this candle though, after this one, I might have taken it at the breakout here. And if we take it at the breakout, remember how we trade? If we get inside the range, our stop loss is the low of the range. If we get in at the breakouts, our stop loss is a new 1 or 5 minute low. So yeah, this would have been like a perfect entry right there. At this candle with this as a stop loss. But here, yeah, you shouldn't have been sold out. I mean, good job following your rules at least and getting out where you wanted to get out. Let's see CCL. Now this is the same thing. You got in so late. You got into the long side and this was a chase, right? Look at this. It went 50 cents without you. You got in at the break. Yes, it was the break, but you got in so late after it made this whole move right there, right? Then again, the same thing, you take it in right here, you have the range, the high of the range here, the low of the range here. That should be your stop loss. But look at this here. Now this is a range, right? This is where it's getting chopped out. High and bottoms, high and bottoms. Then you could see it clearly making higher low, and higher low. So if you're taking it to the long side here, that should be your stop loss. If you take it to the long side here, now here you could adjust your stop loss. You could put your stop loss at a new 5-minute low right here, at a new 5-minute low right here, but this is so tight, or at least the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. Hey gents, Kemar and hey Urbano. Ayanik, make sure to put the chart in the off-topic chat so that I don't miss it, and thank you. Yeah, so look at this. Again, this was a chase, right? We should not have taken it there. This could have worked out. It's not ideal yet. It's still chopping in a range. We don't know where it's going to go. It could break out to the long side, and it could just break down to the downside. It's just like in a range. And when we are getting in the range, we want our entry to be as close as possible to the support. Why getting in at the resistance when we know that it's chopping around there? Why not getting just a better entry? Now this entry, it was good. Stop loss could have been so tight. And this, yeah, this was really amazing. I like this one so much. Long twice or at the third time. There was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, now I remember it. So try to think about this rule, and it's a rule I usually apply when trading. Never go or chase the stock with the trend when it's so extended from the 9 moving average and the 5-minute chart. This is the rule number 1. Rule number 2, never go against the trend or short for a reversal against the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. Those 2 rules, they save me a lot from losing. So when I see that the stock's so far from the 9 and the 5, I look for a short. When I see that the stock is so close from the 9 and the 5, I never short it. I look for a long setup. Now, no worries, Anik. So MGM, you traded it for a 2-minute open range breakdown or an engulfing crack, right? And I like this setup. I like this entry right here. Look at these guys. MGM opened up so bullish, right? We had the pre-market level right here. Let me just draw it quickly. That's somewhere we have a pre-market level here, sort of pre-market level right here. Not so strong. I like this one much more. So it broke the pre-market level and it started uptrending. It did a decent 40 cents move to the long side. When the stocks are breaking levels, what do we expect them to do? We expect them either to shoot up or we expect them to do a pullback to the breakout area and then shoot out. If they get back into the range, now that's a bad sign and that's a weak sign. They could do anything, yes, but now they are not that strong. And here it did also a setup. Not only it got into the range, it also did an engulfing crack setup. You took it to the short side, which was amazing. I wouldn't put my stop loss at the high, definitely. It would be just half candle somewhere there, just to give it some room. And yeah, then you start partialing. This short was a good one as well. 2-minute reverse ABCD pattern. Drop down, pulled back, new 2-minute low, new 5-minute low. Now we're having a 5-minute opening range breakdown on a stock which is close to view up. So yeah, this was a good entry. Unfortunately, it didn't work as much as I wanted it to work. I wouldn't have partialed here. I would have definitely held for a bigger move and I would be stopped out for a loser. But the setup was good and you managed to make it a winner, which was great. Here I start getting a little bit hesitated. I see why you have taken it, and I would have taken it maybe, or at least I used to take it. We have this W shape on a weak stock which is rejecting view up multiple times, making a new 2-minute low, making a new 1-minute low. So this was great as well. One thing I would be hesitated about is that after this breakout right here, it didn't move a lot. Since it didn't move a lot and it pulled back, it got back down into the range. Now this would make me a little bit hesitated, and this new low, I'll be afraid that it will just make a higher low, which it actually did. I know it could have just went down there, but I will be interested in a short on this setup once it gets back closer to the low of the day. That's where I would consider taking it to the short side. Put my stop loss at new 1-minute high, new 2-minute highs, and then you'll have a clear target. You'll not have any support below you, and the stock will just be able to go in your direction. And yes, there was a lot of overtrading right there, like this long. It wasn't ideal, right? Why wasn't it ideal? It's just more weak than strong. When I see stock breaking view up, I don't take it to the long side for the break of view up. I wait for it to break view up. I wait for it to pull back. If it's strong, it will give you a good entry and it will continue going up. If it's not strong, it will do this. You see? So yeah, this should have been just avoided right there. But good start here, I mean, and good management. Even this one, it wasn't that bad, but this, yeah, this should have been just avoided. Let's see what you did on KSS. KSS, so you took it first to the long side and you got subbed out immediately? Was it that? 935? Failed open range breakout. And remember the rules. One of the rules for open range breakouts, we want to see a 5-minute candle, which is smaller than the average true range. Second rule, it should be close to view up. Now this wasn't close to view up, right? It was around 50 cents away from view up. So yeah, this wasn't the ideal open range breakout, and it didn't work out well. It did work out eventually, yes, but yeah, the stop loss would have been so far and it would never give you the risk to reward. So yeah, it wasn't that great there. This short wasn't bad. I like this. And remember guys what we said, when the stock is extended from the 9 and the 5, we don't chase it for the long. When the stock is extended from the 9 and the 5, you could take it to the short side all the way to the 9 and the 5, or you could wait for a pullback, a new high, where you take it to the long side, but you don't chase it to the long side anywhere here or here or here or even here. So yeah, that was good thinking. I like your short. That wasn't bad. That was amazing. This was great as well. And remember what I said, guys? Stock is strong. It's dropping down. It's going up. Now, this 5-minute, it looks good, to be honest. Yeah, I like this one. This might have been an exception where I don't wait for it to go to the low of the day. Why is that? We're having a doji, a reverse hammer, a good new 5-minute low. It's a pattern on a bigger time frame, a double top with the second top lower than the first one. But it's always better to wait for the break of this one. Why is that? So that it doesn't make a higher low and then make the trend. If you look at this, this is the low, right? You're having a trend right here. And then you're having a lower high, a lower high. So here, it's having higher lows, it's showing you an uptrend. Here, you're having lower highs waves, which showing you a downtrend. This is the decision moment. Is it going to make a higher low and then break up? Or it's going to make a lower high, and then at this moment, this will keep downtrending, and this will start downtrending as well. So you'll have a lot of indicators in your favor. This was an amazing entry to the short side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out well as well, like not amazingly well, but still a decent move, 50 cents move. Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't a crazy move, but still, you managed to make it winner. Good job there. Yeah, this was a really early partial. I would usually hold a little bit more on that one. Peter. Now, Peter asked me already in the chat room, why did Oxy reversal fail? And I like the thinking on Peter's trades. Oxy was extended, right? You took it to the short side for a parabolic reversal when it was far from the 9 and the 5, just to reach the 9 on the 5-minute chart one time, and unfortunately you get subbed out. You shorted it one more time and you get subbed out. You shorted it one more time and you got subbed out, and you shorted it one more time and you got subbed out. So this setup just ate you, right? And remember when I told you guys that this setup, it's good, but there are some moments when the stock is starting to wedge. When the stock is just starting to wedge, this is the moment where we just get killed. It does a new low and then it does new high, then it does a new low and then it does a new high, then it does a new low. This just kills us. So I usually avoid wedging. Anyway, now let's go for the term of entries. First entry right here, right? You took it to the short side, but there was no new 2-minute low at that moment. So this trade shouldn't have been there, right? So this should be -1 loser. This trade, it was good. And honestly, I have taken this one as well. I'll share my Ox trade right now. I did partial a little bit here because it just gave me a good risk to reward. The rest I exited break even. Now here I didn't take it. Let me just open my Oxy trades quickly and we'll get back to yours quickly. Close, 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 close. Oxy. So this is Oxy. I also tried it a couple of times to the short side. Now look at this. My first entry right here. And I just exited so fast, like the moment I entered. It wasn't ready. There was no new 2 minute low, but I like the doji at the high of the day. I like the new 1 minute low. Not a perfect setup. I took it to the short side and I exited. Then a little bit after, we're having a new 2 minute low, and when I'm saying new 2 minute low, it's the body. A new 2 minute low, good entry, a really tight stop loss, around 7 cents stop loss, and I just took my first partial at 2 to 1, so 2.5 to 1. Wasn't perfect one. I should have held it a little bit more, but yeah. Took partial and exited the rest at break even. Then where is it? Then I was watching it here. Look at this. On the 2 minute chart, you are having a new 2 minute low. I agree with you. But look at this. What time is this quickly? It's 10. Yeah, there it is. 10 and 10:01. You see these candles? This week right here, it's showing me buying pressure. Then we're having an engulfing literally into the 9 on the 1 minute chart. I don't like to see this. I don't like to see a wide bar candles forming a new 2 minute low. One of my rules for these type of reversals or parabolic reversals is to have a good looking 1 or 2 minute candles. And what do I mean by good looking 1 minute candle or 2 minute candles? I mean either a doji, a shooting star, I don't know, sort of tweezer candles like double dojis, double shooting stars, double dojis on the 1 minute chart. Those are the type of candles after which I see a new low, I might take it to the short side. Same thing here. You see this? This was a doji. This was a doji. I liked it. I took it on a new 1 minute low. This was a shooting star. I liked it. I took it a new 1 minute low with a doji on the 2 minute chart. Now here you're having a hammer. Then you're having a new 1 minute low with a new 1 minute low here on an engulfing. These I usually avoid. I don't take it. If I would have considered taking it, this would have been the place to take it to the short side. Two good looking 1 minute candles, two dojis, a doji on the 2 minute chart. Look at this. Those are hammers. I avoid new lows when I see buying wicks right there. This is a good looking 2 minute candle and a new 2 minute low. So you see, one failure, one. Normally, if I hold on to it as much as I want, I would get just stopped out for a small loser. And then the third possible entry, which is finally a winner. Do you see that, Peter? Is that clear? Yeah, George, it was 25 only. Like, is this small when I draw this? I can use a bigger pointer like this. Is that good? Lucian? Urbano, what's the video feed problem? Okay, does anyone else have video feed problems here? Okay, if not, make sure to use Firefox, maybe try Firefox, or just log in again. Lenny. A little bit of lag. Okay, let's see what you did here. BA gapped up. Your plan was bullish on this one. However, the open range breakout came. You don't like to go short on open range breakout if the stock gapped up. Let's see. So, okay, I see what you're saying. You don't like to go on opinion range breakdowns when the stock gaps up, and you don't like to go on opinion range break ups when the stock gaps down. That's it, right? You have some bias because of the gap. Personally, for me, I don't care about the gap, and I don't care about how good or bad the news were when I'm biased when I'm trading. I just care more about technicals. And look at this. When would I take the stock for the open range breakdown? I would take it for an open range breakdown if all the moving averages are above. If it gapped up and then in the pre-market it was selling off, you will have all the moving averages above the price action. If I see that, I will definitely be short bias on the stock and I will look for an open range breakdown. If the stock gaps down and in the pre-market it is uptrending, all the moving averages will be below it. So at the open, I will wait for a pullback or then an open range breakout and I will take it to the long side. I will not go against the moving averages. Here, if you look at BA, you could see the moving averages above it. Now it gapped up, yes, but looking at the moving averages, I bet it was downtrending in the pre-market, right? It did sell off at the open, it did pull back, did some sort of reverse ABCD pattern, and it wasn't a bad short right here. Not here. Why not here? Because at the moment it was still pulling back. It could have just continued doing higher highs and higher lows, and it did that. You see, it did another higher high and higher low, and finally it did a new low. This was the entry to the short side, not this, because we're not sure how much it's going to pull back. It could just continue going higher. That was the confirmation. It didn't work out, I know. But that was the confirmation right there. Ciao, how do you delete uploads? You can't, but I can delete it for you. Deleted. Yeah, perfect. I did that. Guys, make sure to hide the account number when you're sending the screenshots. You're welcome. Sheldon, if you can send the chart to the off topic, please, so that I don't miss it here. And let's see. Okay, let's get back to Lenny. He has a question there. Where should I have put my stop loss? Question 2. I quit my position after you spotted some weakness on the 1 minute chart. Was that okay? You quit your position after you spotted some weakness on the one. Yeah, so look at this. Where would be your stop loss? In this case, I wouldn't take my entry here. If I had taken my entry here, my stop loss would be at least this moving average right here, the horizontal one. Not because it's technical level, just to give it some room. I think it's enough strong of a moving average which could hold the price action, because it did break it here. And usually when the support gets broken, it starts acting as a resistance. I would just put it here because I like it, not because of anything else. If I had taken it here on a new low, that would have been my stop loss right here. But look at this. I personally wouldn't have held it to my original stop loss. Why is that? Look at this. Dropping down, a higher low. You see this? This is something I hate on reverse ABCDs, when they do this higher low. If it's weak, here, once it broke this area right here, once it did the new low, it should go at least to the daily level. But it didn't do that. For some reason, it started holding, and then it did a new high. You see here? So yeah, this would just make me start consider quitting at break even. Not exiting at break even yet, not bailing on my position yet. I'm going to consider exiting. Then I see it making new lows again, and that's good. And it's breaking this area right here. It's making a new lower low wave. But look at this, it's not weak enough. Yes, it did break it, and once it breaks it, what's the next support we have? This one. It should go to it. There is nothing else there. For some reason, it gets both back up and it closes as a hammer. Does a new 1 minute high? That's where I would have 100% bailed on my position, because it's just not weak. Yes, I had a good thinking at the beginning. Yes, I had a good entry right there, but it just doesn't want to sell off. It's more strong than it's weak, and yeah, that's where I just bail at break even. Now let's see CCL. Okay, I see your questions were about CCL. No problem. We'll get back to those questions in CCL as well, right? So CCL, you took it to the long side at the pre-market? Was this pre-market? No, it wasn't pre-market. This is a 1 minute candle at 9:38. Let me mute this thing. Okay, this was your long right there. It was a 5 minute open range breakout. Now it's not so bad. I honestly would be a little bit hesitated. Look at the 5 minute chart. Yes, it's a 5 minute open range breakout. Yes, it's close to view up. Yes, it's smaller than the average through range, the move, right? But look at this week, this is a selling pressure. It did break this level right here at the pre-market and it closed literally at this level. Then it started selling off. So yeah, that's something I don't like. And remember, we don't go or buy on the way down, right? Lower low and lower high, lower low and lower high. If we buy it here, what guarantees that it will not do another lower low and lower high? And it did that, you see? Lower low and lower high. Do we enter here? No. We finally found support. I like that. We're having a new high, at least here. Not so perfect. I don't like it so much. It's more weak than it's strong. It's sitting below the moving averages. It could simply do a reverse ABCD pattern, new low and break down, but it didn't do that. It did a double bottom. It did a hammer, increasing volume, new 1 minute high. You could take it either here to the long side. Those were the entries to the long side. Could have taken it here because it did a new high if you are like so long biased, but for me, I believe these were the best entries for this setup. Where would I put my stop loss if I had taken it here? Below view up, and I would be stopped out. But I wouldn't take it here because it's just making lower lows and lower highs. I don't go against the trend when there are no enough confirmation. I know that you considered this daily level right here. I bet you did, right? But daily levels, having a daily level doesn't mean that it will 100% act as a support. We have it, and if it holds it and does a new 1 minute high, we could tell, okay, drop down to the daily level, it held it and did a new high. Now that's enough confirmation. But only having a daily level right there doesn't mean that it will literally bounce out of it. Let's see your Zoom trade. Let me just close this and let me see. Someone is calling INTC. What do we have on INTC? Now look at this. This is one of the times where I am actually short buys on a stock. But look at this. This is wedging. I don't like these type of shorts. And it's not so much extended. It will drop. I bet it will. But it's not the perfect step and I'm not taking it. Now let's get back to your Zoom. So Zoom, you took it to the short side, right? And it was close to the 9 on the 1 minute chart. It was close to view up, new 5 minute low, up in range breakdown. One more thing. When you took it here to the short side, you took it with the trend. It was just going down. Now this I would consider a chase. I know it doesn't look like a chase. I know it's close to view up. But look at this. It was just dropping down. Since the pre-market, it was dropping down with no pullbacks, right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Now this, until this moment, I wouldn't take it to the short side. We need to wait for pullbacks. Our entries with the trend should be always after the pullback. After the pullback should be our entry. Why is that? Just to have a defined stop loss. Where would you put your stop loss when you get in here? I mean, you could expect it or hope that it will continue going in with your direction, because it was doing that before, right? You could expect it to just continue going lower. I mean, it was going lower since the pre-market, right? Why wouldn't it continue going lower here? Why wouldn't it continue going if I enter here? Why wouldn't it continue going if I entered here? But what guarantees that this is not the moment of the pullback? It could just simply pull back at this candle. It could pull back at this candle, and it could pull back at this candle. And we don't know where the end of the pullback is going to be, and we don't know where to put our stop loss at, right? We need to have some technical stop loss, the level of the stock bounce off. If I chase it to the short side here, my stop loss would be a new 5 minute high. That would be my stop loss. I mean, sometimes I do chase. I'm not telling you that you are trading bad or you are chasing. I do chase, and I will show you trades. I have chased that. That's not something I'm proud of, but we all do that, right? But if we do it, we should do it smart. We should give our stocks some room to go, and once they do the setup we expected, once we see the pullback, we could always add to our position and then move the stop loss to some other area. If I had taken it to the short side here where you have taken it, my stop loss would be a new 5 minute high. Now let me move this there, let me move this there. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, that's good, I fixed it. Good job, Lenny. Urbano, let's see how you traded. So was this a short? This was a short, right? On Uber. On the 5-minute chart. And this is not a bad one. I actually like this. Look at this. It was weak, guys. It was downtrending. Then it did a pullback. He didn't chase it to the short. Now this wasn't actually a bad short right here. Why is that? A downtrend. Pull back to the 9 moving average in the 5-minute chart. A new 5-minute low at the low of the day. That's the low of the day. That's the area right here. It's breaking out. That's a good entry to the short side. That's a good stop loss. Now this was amazing. Missed it. No problem. It's pulling back, rejecting viewer, making new lows, and then you take it to the short side. Now there is one difference between taking it to the short side here and taking it to the short side here. Can anyone tell me? J-Bone, the trend. You mean the trend here changed, right? Higher highs. That sort of higher highs. Okay, J-Bone, I'll go with you. That's perfect one. Look at these guys. Here, the trend is to the downside. How could we tell that the trend is to the downside? All the moving averages are above, right? It's so weak. It's clearly dropping. Here, it pulls back to the moving averages. It respects them. It respects the trend, and it's dropping down. Now look at this. What do we have here? Stock did a double bottom with the second bottom higher than the first one. Stock is going to the long side, right? Moving averages almost crossed, and moving average cross indicates a reversal pattern. So what could it do? It could, yes, it could drop, and yes, it could break this moving average, but it could do just a higher low and then continue the uptrend, because the trend here, it changed. Now this is not a pullback anymore, not a huge pullback. This is just a trend changing. This is where I start getting interested in a setup for the long side, not for the short side. Where would I be interested to the short side? If it breaks this level, these moving averages, and drops down, pulls back, makes a lower high wave, a new low, and I take it to the short side. That would be my confirmation to take it to the short side. Let's see what it did. Like, this was around 12, right when we started the trade review, and let's see what Uber did. Uber. Hey, you see? That was the entry right there at 12. And look what happened. It just did this pullback here and then moved to the long side, right? It's not perfect. Didn't work fully, but it's still not looking bad for a long. But you see why we don't take it to the short side here? This was a perfect short. It was a pullback. This was also a pullback, but this is a pullback after it changed the trend, right? Now, yes, it did a new 5-minute low, but this doesn't mean that the trend will be now to the downside. This new 5-minute low, it was good because it's with the trend. This new 5-minute low, it's against the trend. Yeah, but good trade, and I'm happy you shared this with us. This was definitely helpful to some of the traders here. So AAL, whose trade is this? Let me check back again. This was J-Bone. Explanation to the right. Okay, let's see the explanation. Setup, counter trend, indicator confirmation, strong trend on the 1 minute and the 2 and the 5-minute chart without a pullback. Near a level where investors will take profits, $12 whole number. Large volume, small candle, hammer, and a hammer or shooting star. Entry new 1 minute low. Okay. Now let's see how you manage it. Let me actually zoom out this a little bit. Do you see, guys, this clearly? It's not small, right? So look at these guys. AAL is going to the long side with no pullbacks. You see the 2-minute chart? Higher high and higher low. Higher high and higher low. And I would ignore the higher high. Just look at this. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low with no pullbacks at all, right? And then finally, it has the high here. It started holding the daily level, and this is one of the exceptions. I think I might have taken it to the short side as well with you here. Like, this is not bad. I like it. It held the daily level, literally held the daily level, did a new 1 minute low, take it to the short side, and just get stopped out. So yeah, this one was amazing. Continue watching it. It's going up. We're having a shooting star at the high of the day, and look at this. Remember, guys, what I told you? Good looking 1 minute or 2 minute candles. That's what we're looking for when the stock is extended from the 9 and the 5. And that's a good looking 1 minute candle on an uptrend. A shooting star with a new low, which should have been a good entry, and then it finally works out. Yes, setup is not working 100% of the time, but if you manage your stop loss and you hold on to the winners, you will make it back on the winners. Like, take it to the short side, stop loss, you get out, 1 hour loser. Take it to the short side, stop loss, hold it for 4 hours at least, and you are up 3 hours. It's all about risk management. Yeah, the first was a good entry, Ebon. It wasn't perfect, yes, but it was a good entry. I like it. I would have taken it as well, and I have taken some of those similar entries today. If we have time, I'll go through my trades. Can I avoid this entry in the future? I don't think you can avoid it somehow. It's a good entry. It's not bad. You'll be missing some setups. If you see these entries, these type of setups, it was good. I don't think you did anything wrong about it. Let's see your ABCD on Uber. This looks like a nice ABCD type pattern. Type B, yes, it's the type B. Would you have taken this view? If so, where would be your entry? If I would have taken to the short side, this would be my entry. This candle right here. This is like a really good curling price action at 10.45. You could take it to the short side anytime, anywhere there. Let me just zoom it in a little bit. Yeah, this was a really good setup. Like, look at these guys. And we talked about this, right? Uber. Downtrending, pulling back to the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart, respecting the 9 on the 5-minute chart, curling below it, making a new low, curling below these moving averages. You take it to the short side on any of those candles. Any of those candles are good. Sorry, till here, till this daily level. Any of those candles are good. Shorts, I think this is too big, I'm sorry. Any of those candles are really good entry. You could take it also for the break, but I prefer definitely a better entry, especially when the setup is so clear right there. So yeah, this would have been a good setup. Now, whose trade was this? Let me check it quickly. Stock operator. So stock operator, how did you trade BA? Let's zoom it in a little bit. Why can't I zoom in? I can zoom in. So stock operator, you took it to the short side at 10.43, somewhere there. That's it. And look at these guys. This is amazing. Stock is dropping down. Stock operator didn't take it to the short side anywhere when it was downtrending. Where did he take it to the short side? After the pullback, it's pulling back to the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart, starting respecting it, starting to curl down, making a new low after a doji and a shooting star, new 1-minute low, took it to the short side and started partialing all the way to the downside. That was amazing. That was a really good one. Oh, Hazen. Okay, so yeah, this was amazing one. Let's see what you did here. This you took to the long side, and I like the thinking behind this. Look at these guys. Now this was a downtrend, right? It was below the moving averages, right? Now it's making a higher lows. It does break the low right here, but it can't go to the low of the day. This is strength sign. It comes back up. You have the moving averages crossing again. It gets above the moving averages. Took it to the long side. Partial, dropped down, held the 50 moving average, took it to the long side one more time and started selling off. Now those are a little bit early sells, but it depends on your stop loss, on how tight your stop loss was. Other than that, I like how patient you were. Like 3 trades, 3 winners, and all of them were really good thinking. Sheldon. Let's see what you did there. Okay. Let's see what this is EA. This is actually not bad. It's dropping out a lot. This is a downtrend, right? And when the stock is getting extended from the 9 and the 5, what do? We either wait for a pullback to the 9 and the 5, a new low, we go with the trend, and we get stopped out unfortunately because they doesn't work 100% of the times, or we wait for reversal pattern, doji, new 5-minute high, could take it to the long side, and then just partial with your plan. Now let's see Sheldon. Okay, yeah, we saw this one. Now let's say Chow. Okay, that's good. Now let's see what you did there. KSS, you took it to the long side. Not so bad. It's not so perfect, right? I mean, look at this. It's just a little bit tricky. You are having a shooting star right here at the high of the day, and we're entering for the break of the high of the day. Taking it to the long side here wouldn't be so good for me. Why is that? Because of the risk to reward only. Like, this would be my stop loss 100%. And it never hits it, I see, or maybe just touches it, which is not bad. I mean, no reason to bail out yet. But I would be afraid that it will just hit the high of the day, because this was a shooting star, and then drop down. So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad as well. I see you bailed out immediately. Was there a hotkey mistake, or you had a really tight stop loss? Ciao. Why did you get immediately stopped out in this setup? Did you have a tight stop loss? Okay, now that's a problem. Remember, this is the 1 minute chart. Sometimes having a stop loss at a new 1 minute low is considered to be so tight. Like, look at this. Where is the epic pen? Like, having a new 1 minute low, sometimes it could be so tight. Having a stop loss within the 1 minute candle, that's like so tight, and you'll be stopped out 90% of the time in these cases. So I do recommend you work on the stop losses. Make sure to have them at technical levels. Level the stock bounce off at the beginning, especially when you are getting inside the range. And did you buy it here inside the range? Yes. Why is that? The high of the range is here. You got in inside the range. So you should expect that the stock will be consolidating for some time before it breaks the range, right? So these should have been like the perfect stop loss there. And you shouldn't have been stopped out if you used this stop loss. I think you shouldn't have been stopped out. I can't really check it to the penny here. It's not so clear, but that's what I see. T-Bone, for me, it's the body. I don't go for the wicks. I go for the bodies most of the time. Hi, can you send please the chart in the off topic so that I don't miss it? Thank you. Ciao, let's see your ZM trade. Now this wasn't bad, I like it, but why did you get stopped out? There was no reason to be stopped out here. This was a good setup. You got in at the break of the range, which is smart, right? Look at this, you get in at the break of the range. You didn't get inside the range, it was forming a descending triangle. You went for the breakout. Stop loss at least new 1 minute high. It never touched your stop loss. It was a good setup, and it did work out really well. Why did you get stopped out there? Again, a tight stop loss. You see, you can never have a stop loss inside the 1 minute candle. If you do that, you will be stopped out 90% of the times. You need to give it some room. Even 1 minute candle, new 1 minute candle could be tight sometimes, but having it inside the 1 minute candle, that's so tight, right? Yeah, so make sure to work on the stop losses, at least new highs and new lows, though that's not really great still. Gamal, it depends. I don't really trade gold, to be honest. Yeah, I don't remember when I traded gold last time. I did trade it sometime when I see a setup there, but it's not that I'm focused on gold. Now, whose trade was this? Let me get back there. I forgot. Oh my god, my memory. Oh, it's Zen, right? Zen? Yes, it's Zen. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. You did not wait for a pullback. And you see, these guys, Zen knows it, but he wanted to share this with us. Did not wait for a pullback. Took it as soon as it took out the open high. If he had waited, then it did go to the level marked. So look at this. He got in on the way up. Remember what we said, guys? We don't go or chase the stock on the way up. We always wait for pullbacks. Why is that? Because when we go or when we chase the stock, when they go to the long side or to the downside, I mean wherever they go, when we chase them, we don't have a defined stop loss. We don't know where to put our stop loss at, and we know that we chased. So this entry, when Zen took it, I bet if it worked in his favor, he would have been so happy. But once it started going against him, he realized that he entered so late and he doesn't know where it's going to pull back. And because of this, we don't know how many shares to buy. We just get with random share size, with random stop loss, right? That will just definitely make us nervous. We don't have a defined stop loss. What's the best stop loss here? Right here, or maximum, or at least here, right? But this is still so much. And if we chase it, we definitely will not give it so much room. Why will not we give a stock so much room when we are chasing? Because it's a bad entry, right? And look at this. If he waited for the pullback and then a new high, he would get the same entry, literally the high at the same entry. But at least in this case, he'll have a defined stop loss. Thank you for sharing that, Zen. Let's see your other trade there. CCL. Now this was amazing. This is I love. Look at this breakout level of the pre-market. He got in when? Not before the breakout. He got in for the breakout. When you get in for the breakout, that was 1 minute open range breakout. You should have been patient for a pullback. No problem. Still was a good one. Stop loss. What's the stop loss? I'm not sure what is your stop loss. If I get in here for the breakout, my stop loss would be somewhere here, just to give it some room. And yeah, it was a good one. I mean, you did partial well, it went against you, the rest at break even. So yeah, you managed this one really well, Zen. Oh, Ryan, you got the same trade? Good job. You see, when you see a clear setup, guys, you know that there are other traders looking at the same setup. Zen took the same one, Ryan took the same one, and I bet there were other traders who took the same setups as well. Oh, so Zen, you also had this stop loss, right? Like this one. Okay, yeah, this was a good stop loss. I'm sorry, this. Anyway. Yeah, when the price, this was a good pop out. I mean, it doesn't look so huge here, but this is around 60 cents or 50 cents, I'm not sure. Yeah, this was a really good one. Apple, let's see what you did here. I'm not sure. Was this a short and then a partial? Or long and some partials and stop out? So it was a long, right? Now, if this is a long, this was a little bit risky. Why is that? It was also a chase, right? AL was going up. Yes, it's so strong. It's good that you went in with the trend, but look at this. It just did a huge move with no pullbacks, and now it's consolidating. Yes, you were lucky catching it right there at the bottom, right? But this was a chase. We always wait for pullbacks. What's the pullback? The pullback is the moment we see lower highs. That's the lower high. What's the end of the pullback? The end of the pullback is the moment we see new high. Now this was a good one. This was a good entry right there. And yeah, you could say that this was 3-bar play. It's not exactly that, but it is, I see, like one loser, one winner, another winner. And not bad partialing. Honestly, if I was in this one and I partialed around 70% of my position after this huge move with this tight stop loss, I would leave 30% to just run. Let it run until it does a new low. That would be my last partial. You mean here, Ryan, for 3-bar play? No, I wouldn't really like it so much here. I mean, at least if the entry was here, that wouldn't be so bad. Like, strong, tried to sell off and broke the high. So you're having sort of like this pattern, right? If you at least get an entry here, it will be decent. It will not be perfect, but it's decent. It's not bad here. But here, still not enough confirmation. This one was amazing. This is really perfect. I like this, your second entry. Now this wasn't perfect. Why is that? It's similar to this one. Here it did work out. You see the difference? Why we don't take these type of setups? Because when the stock is going down, we never know what's the end of the pullback. Here you got lucky. You bought it, and this was a small winner, and you lost. Here you didn't get that lucky, right? You couldn't catch it at the bottom. It just did a new low. It was doing lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower lows, lower lows, and you see it just pulling back with lower lows, right? So we can't get lucky every time. That's why we are trading setups and waiting for confirmations, so that we don't get stuck in these type of stocks. Now let's see what high traded. High traded AMD, and let's see your AMD trade. This is the 1 minute chart. This is, let me just close this. AMD, this is the 1 minute chart. This is the 2 minute chart. You took it to the short side, right? And look at this. You went against the trend when the stock is not extended. We do counter trend, and I do counter trend, but when do I do that? When the stock is starting to go parabolically, it does new lows, we take it to the short side for a parabolic pullback. When the stock is in this accumulating phase, this is the beginning of the trend. We don't go against the trend here, against the moving average. We're having a clearly defined stop loss right here. It's so close. You can short it only if your target is the low right here, but this is so tight. Will you go risking 10 cents for 5 cents profit target, right? This is so tight for a short right here. I mean, I see the candles, I see the shooting star, I see the new 1 minute low, but what's the target there, right? It's just starting for the trend. It's just starting or getting ready for the breakout, which finally happens. The volume finally starts increasing. Now this is the area where we don't do anything. This is the area where we get to the long side if we want, definitely not to the short side. At least me, I would definitely not go to the short side there. This is the area where we start taking partials or hold into our positions and wait for a short setup, and this is the sell setup. Oh, I saw this red, then stop. Then I see here this was a long, right? Like the second one. 11:45 short. Ah, you took it to the long side. Okay, see there is a small green candle right there. So you get to the long side and you get subbed out, and then you get into the long side, right? One more time. Did you have a really tight stop loss here? And now that's the problem, right? We don't go to the long on the way down because we don't know what's the end of the pullback is. But still, this is not bad. This is a good one. I mean, this entry, yes, it's on this area, it's on the pullback, but if we just zoom out and look at the bigger picture, we could see that it's clearly having some sort of support right here, right? This moving average. So if you take it to the long side here, this is not so bad because it's not on the way down. It's just waving with a clear support area right here. So this wasn't that bad. But the stop loss was so tight. This should have been the stop loss. At least this. Why this? Because it could just simply pull back all the way to it. It just started making lower lows and lower highs. It can continue doing lower lows and lower highs all the way to the technical level. If you take it to the long side on the new high, then you can tighten your stop loss and put it at the last place it bounced off. Is that clear? Okay, this got frozen. Good job, hi. And yeah, I like how you held, by the way. Your holding was amazing. If you held through this all. This entry was so late. Remember this where we just avoid. The move just started here. Now this is chase. This is where we don't have a clear defined stop loss. We can just get in when the stock is going up. Well, let's see what you traded. You traded Zoom to the short side. Pre-market trade, and you held. Okay, now that was a little bit risky, but I like what you're having. I see that you're having a daily level. You went for the break of that daily level. Your stop loss maybe was a new 1 minute high or the 9 moving average. It did work out and you did partial, so yeah, not that bad. But personally for me, if I see a stock, if I take a trade in the pre-market, I must close the trade in the pre-market because the open could be so volatile, and this sudden drop right here could have just been a sudden pop up after the market opens. I'm not an expert trading the pre-market. I trade it so rare, So don't take that advice for me. If you're trading the pre-market and you are really consistent with that, keep doing what you're doing. I like the setup and I like how you got your partial at the low right there. So good trade there, Bal. You played the weakness on the level 2. Yeah, good job, Bal. Let's see Zen's last trade, reverse ABCD pattern on ZM. Now this was amazing. I love this one. Clear downtrend. Let me get the epic pen back here. It's killing me. Get there. It's a clear downtrend, clear descending triangle, holding somewhere right here, right? I mean, this is not clear touch to this daily level, but it is. We could say descending triangle there. It's doing those lower high wave, lower high wave, lower high wave, little bit lower high wave, making a new 1 minute low where Zen took it to the short side. And look at this. This is amazing. I love this ad. So you take it to the short side when you are inside the range with the stop loss at the waves. Then you can add the breakout and move your stop loss to a new 1 minute high. Now that was really good, Zen. I like this one. I see. Added instead of cover. So this was, oh, this was an add instead of cover. Okay, I see. So guys, do you have any questions? See what INTC is doing. INTC. Yeah, this one didn't. Yeah, this one actually worked out well. Look at this. You see, guys, let me just show you something. You see a new 2 minute low here at 1222. 1222. That's it. Yes, this is a new 2 minute low, but this is not a good looking 1 minute candle. This is engulfing. Now, this is a good looking 1 minute candle. A shooting star. This is where we could just take it to the short side. Not this, definitely. Not bad one. Yeah, let's see what we can catch. I will be in the chat room now. If I find anything interesting, guys, I'll definitely make a call. I'll still be trading now. Gotta be a little bit patient for this setup, but if I find anything, I'll definitely call it. Do you wait for volume confirmation on your ABCD entries? No, I don't wait for volume confirmation because the volume comes after the breakout. The volume doesn't come with in my entry. When you have an ABCD pattern, let's draw it like this. A, B, C, D. This area right here, the volume is the lowest. Like here you will have an increasing volume. Here you will have decreasing volume. At the breakout, you'll still have an increasing volume. And your entry is before the breakout. You go in as close as possible to the support. So you will not always have volume confirmation there. Thank you, J-Bone. Thank you, Stock Operator, and hi. My trades, let's go through some of my trades, guys. It just was the time, a little bit tight, but yeah, no worries. Let's go through my trades. So MU was my best trade for the day. I'll go through the winners and through the losers. MU and MU. So look at these guys. MU did a new 2 minute high here, right? And I could have taken it to the long side here. I was a little bit hesitated. The SPY was still looking weak, so I avoided taking it to the long side there. And it did actually fail. Then these two good looking 1 minute candles. This is a horrible shooting star, but then we're having a doji. And what made me take MU to the long side, not MU, it's the SPY. Let me show you the SPY at the same time. Let me get back to MU. MU 1026 SPY. And Ryan, you'll love this because you love trading the stocks which are following the SPY sometimes, and this is how we can get some confirmations out of them. You see this week, guys? It did break the low of the day at this candle. It did break it on sort of reverse ABCD pattern, but it did immediately get bought back up and closed as a hammer. I saw this fake breakdown. I was caught in these type of setups when I was shorting them a lot. So I knew that this one, after it's doing it, it's most likely going to reverse, and I just took it to the long side, and it was extended from the 9 and the 5. The target should have been the 9 and the 5. I know I'm still mistaken. I'm still partialing so early. But look at this. It was around, what, 6 cents stop loss, and my first partial was at 30 cents profit. It's good, but I traded my PNL. I didn't follow my rules. I should have held it to the 9 on the 5. On this one, then, I got around 7 hours realized, or 8 hours. Let me show you another trade, CCL. So I traded CCL, I think it was 1 or 2 times. Yeah, it was 1 time at 10:45 and 2-minute chart, 10:45. Clear downtrend so far from the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart. You are having sort of a doji, increasing volume at the low of the day, wicks, buying wicks, a doji, a new 1-minute high. Yes, no new 2-minute high, 2 good looking 1-minute candles with higher lows, third candle which is making a new high as confirmation for me. Took it to the long side, didn't work out, totally fine with it. I missed this one. And remember what I told you? Fake breakdown. It did break down, but look at this. It broke down only for what? 10 cents? That's not a breakdown, right? This is a fake breakdown. I wanted to take it to the long side here. This pop was a little bit fast. I missed it. I missed a really good move, but we can't catch them all. I took Oxy 2 times. Oxy, I went through them, so I'll not go through it again. Just save some time. I traded Tesla. I also went through this. So extended from the 9 and the 5. 2 good looking 1-minute candles. A huge wick on the top. Almost new 2-minute low. Took it to the short side. Never hit my break even. Unfortunately, I exited early and I missed a really good move. This would have been like an amazing move for today, but no problem with that. I traded work today. Same setup. Let me get back there to work. That's it. Drop down so far from the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart. 2 good looking 1-minute candles, sort of hammer, slightly increasing volume. A doji, a new 1-minute high. Took it to the long side. Stop loss below the budget right there. This was around 12 cents stop loss. Yep, it was 10 cents stop loss. 10 cents stop loss. Took my first partial right here at 4 hours. And just took more partials all the way to view up. So yeah, this was a good one. It worked out well. I held on well through it. VIAC, this was a losing trade for me. Uptrending so far from the 9-moving average on the 5-minute chart. Shooting star at the high of the day. New 1-minute low. No new 2-minute low, but this is an exception. Shooting star, I usually love it. I took it to the short side and I got subbed. This was 1 hour loser. Yeah, it's so small. I had 2 cents stop loss on this one, or 3 cents. Oh no, this wasn't the 2 cents. Okay, this was 1 hour loser. Then again, shooting star at the high of the day. I should have shorted it. Here, I should have shorted it and put my stop loss somewhere at 16.50. And this one would have worked out, but sometimes I'm hesitating re-entering into some trades. Yeah, but no problem. I mean, winners, losers, not bad. And I think I have got also AMD. Yeah, AMD, my last trade for today. That's it. AMD here, AMD here, and AMD here. So AMD, same thing. Extended from the 9 and the 5, having the 200 moving average below it, getting back above it, closing as a doji at the low of the day. Look at this. No new 1-minute high all the way from view up. No new 1-minute high. This is the first new 1-minute high in like 20 minutes, which was the confirmation for me. Took it to the long side. Took some partial. Because of the partial, I exited at break even. If I didn't have this partial, I could have held it for a bigger winner there, all the way to the 9 and the 5. And that's what I need to work on. When these setups work out, they always go to the 9 and the 5. But for some reason, I'm still not confident holding them to the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. I need to work on that. And I need to hold to the 9 and the 5 because the reward would be much better. George, I have no idea why I built in Tesla because I'm stupid. I didn't follow my rules there. What does a fake breakdown pattern looks like? The fake breakdown pattern is when the stock does a reverse ABCD pattern. It does break the low of the day, and when the stock breaks the low of the days, they should either flash down or pull back to the previous support area, act as a resistance, and then continue the downtrend. If they get back into the range, that's a fake breakdown for me. Or if the breakdown isn't good enough, like few cents, and then it starts getting back up. Yeah, George, I shouldn't have exited Tesla because there was no reason to exit. I just didn't. I don't know why I did, honestly. I will be kicking myself when I'm doing the journal later. So yeah, that's it, guys. Do you have any questions? Guys on YouTube, if you have any questions, you can also ask me or just email me at ayman@virtualtraders.com. I will type my email. Have you tried entering on 5-minute charts and exiting in 15 minutes? I'm trying the slow things a bit, seems to be working out. So look at this. Usually on these type of setups, it's like this. When you get in at a new 2-minute low, we have different type of traders, right? Some traders trading the 1-minute chart, some of them trading the 2-minute chart, some of them the 5, some of them the 15, right? When I'm having a new 1-minute low, I know that 1-minute traders will get in with me. When we're having a new 5-minute low, that's where the 5-minute traders are getting into the game and they start shorting it, right? When we're having a new 15-minute low, that's when the 15-minute traders are getting into the trade. So if I get a good entry, I would take a partial at the low of the 5-minute chart just in case it doesn't make a new 5-minute low and starts going against me. If it makes a new 5-minute low, that's where I actually start holding it until it makes a new 5-minute high. If it makes a new 15-minute low, that's where I hold it until it makes a new 15-minute high. So it just depends on moving from one chart to another. Okay, perfect. So have a great day everyone, and I'll be in the chat room.